On October 21st, 2000, I was playing in a Harvard varsity football game against Princeton University in front of a sold-out stadium of 27,000 fans. And on this particular day, in this particular game, it was a battle. We were in the fourth quarter. Harvard had the ball driving in. It was 4th and 25. And our quarterback got up under the center. He took the snap. He looked at the primary receiver who was covered. He looked at the secondary receiver who was covered. And just as he was getting sacked, he dumped the ball off to me. I caught the ball in front of the line of scrimmage, looked around, and immediately raced towards the sidelines. I hit the sidelines. I was at the 25. I was at the 20. I was at the 15. I was at the 10. Suddenly, I saw a defender coming. I was at the 5. He dove for me. He hit as I dove for the end zone. I spun around in a circle. I hit the ground. The ball flew up in the air. I rolled 3 times, jumped to my feet, looked around to see what happened, and I saw the referee giving the touchdown sign. The crowd began to roar, and I began to roar. I looked up and roared like a lion in the jungle. I felt like a warrior triumphant on the battlefield. This was not just a touchdown in a football game. Everything I had ever worked for was to get to this moment, to be graduating from one of the top universities in the world and scoring touchdowns. All the late-night workouts, all the 4-hour study sessions had come to this point. Felt amazing. The energy and passion was moving through my veins in a way I can't describe. So it probably will surprise you to hear that 12 months later, I was living in Tampa, Florida, completely depressed. I was sad. I'd graduated from Harvard. I had a hard time waking up in the morning. I didn't want to get out of bed. And no, I didn't have a drug or alcohol issue. And no, someone I loved wasn't just diagnosed with cancer. I had, for the first time in my life, been detached from my passion. And I found myself with no sense of purpose, no idea where I was going, and more importantly, why I was going in that direction. And it left me feeling completely empty inside, hollow. And it was an emotion I had never felt in my entire life. And I dealt with this for a few months, and then I realized something. I've been lied to. I've been lied to since I was a little kid, and it's likely that many of you have heard the same lie. We still tell tens of millions of people this lie every day. It's what I like to call the lie of linear progression. So we start off, we're born, we're these little infants, we have parents, we want to be nice to our parents, we want to eat all our food, go to elementary school, you got to be a good little student, you got to get good grades. And if you have a question, raise your hand, be respectful to your teachers. And play nicely with everyone out on the playground. You want to be a good kid. And then you're eventually going to start playing sports. You want to play real hard, but be a good competitor. Be good to the teammate. Maybe one day you'll be the captain of the team. You'll keep progressing. You'll go on to high school. When you get to high school, you better start getting into those extracurricular activities. Maybe even be the president of the community service club. You want to position yourself for one of these top colleges. Take the SATs, take the ACTs. You better score well. Because you got to get into a world-class college. You want to anchor yourself. That's going to be a big, important anchor for life. You get into college, keep studying, keep getting those good grades. You'll probably join a fraternity, join a sorority, join some type of club. You can start networking with the right people. Don't forget the internships. The college internships are important. That's what the companies are looking for. And when you graduate, you want to work with one of those global companies, a Goldman Sachs, a McKinsey, a Google. You want to anchor that career somewhere that's important. Keep trying, keep working hard. You make money, get promoted, fall in love with a beautiful man or woman, get married, have kids. Start telling them this lie too. You're each going to keep progressing along this path. Save your money. You're going to retire. You'll be able to travel. You're going to be able to see the world. And then eventually, you're going to live a life that's been happy and fulfilled. This is a lie. This is not how life progresses. I believe we tell a lot of people that that's how it progresses. I've found a different path, a different journey. It's what I like to call the path of passion and purpose. When you identify your passion, you commit to it, and you have the courage to step out and walk a unique journey, it fills you with this energy, with this drive, makes you persevere through all the challenges. Whether you be riding motorcycles at nighttime in the cold and the rain, or you're waking up on a dirt floor in a third world country, or you're $100,000 in credit card debt because you're trying to start a company, you're willing to push through it. And I know that because I've been in each of those three situations. But I've been in them when I had a sense of purpose and when I felt that passion. And I felt like there was nothing that could possibly stop me. That's what you want to shoot for. That's what helps you get to a sense of happiness and fulfillment in life. Now, I don't want to stand up here and lie to you the same way that I was lied. If you commit to your passion and if you walk this journey with purpose, it doesn't look like this beautiful arc, just like it isn't a perfect line. Your life will look something more like this. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be lefts, there's going to be rights, forwards and backwards. This is what life really looks like. However, one thing I promise you is if you commit to passion, if you get out there and live a life with purpose, opportunities will present themselves. Doors will open. People will come into your life, and the world will conspire to start making this happen for you. I know it. I've seen it so many times in my life. I'd like to tell you a quick story about my wife. She and I were traveling in Southeast Asia in 2006, and we're on a day trip on motorcycles, and we pulled over to enjoy some sunshine and take a break. And while we were sitting there, this little old lady with a backpack came walking up to us, wearing tattered clothing, her bare feet in the dirt. And she said, "Would you guys like some fresh papaya salad?" Now, this didn't look like the type of lady that would be selling fresh produce. But we said, "Sure, yeah, we'd love to have some." She took out her green papaya and began to shred it in a bowl. She threw some cherry tomatoes in there. She put some fish sauce on it. She chopped up some chilies and threw it in there, and she mashed it, and mashed it, and mashed it. Gave us this fresh bowl of papaya salad. She took out another bowl, grabbed a hunk of warm sticky rice. From her bare hand to our bare hand, she gave it to us. Took off some of the sticky rice, put it in the papaya salad, put it in our mouth, and poof, it's like a flavor explosion of the fish sauce and the lime and the freshness. It was amazing. My wife looked up to me and said, "I know what I want to do." I said, "Travel the world and eat papaya salad?" And she said, "No, I want to be a chef. I want to take these international cuisines and deliver it to people on a daily basis with this type of flavor and this type of freshness." I said, "Okay." Now, granted, my wife grew up on a farm in remote Kentucky. She always liked to cook, and she liked to read cooking magazines. But this was way out of her wheelhouse. She had just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to go through college. But she was committed. She found that passion, and she committed to it. When we got back to Fairfield, Connecticut, she started interning on the weekends with a chef in a kitchen for free. She learned all the different chef techniques. We then moved out to San Francisco, and she became a nanny for her family, taking care of their son and taking care of their household. But at nighttime, she would cook meals. And in the morning, she would deliver those meals to neighborhood families so that when those mothers came home, they had food to give to their sons and daughters. And she put so much passion and thought into these meals. And sure enough, people started asking her to cook for birthday parties and to cook for special events. And then they started asking her to cook for specialty dinners with their friends. And then eventually someone came up to her and said, "Hey, I work for Salesforce. We cater for 150 people a day. Would you consider catering lunches for us?" So she quit her job, started a catering company, started working with Salesforce. Soon some of those employees went to Microsoft. They told the Microsoft company about my wife and her company. They asked her to be a Microsoft vendor. Soon she's cooking for Salesforce, she's cooking for Yammer, she's cooking for Skype, she's cooking for all kinds of internet tech security companies. She's cooking for 400 to 600 people a day. But still with that same sense of passion, still with putting in those flavors and freshness every single day. For me, my passion is this. My purpose is to talk with people and help develop ways for people to open their eyes, find their passion, how to commit to it, how to have the courage to do that, how to set up a path to walk down so that you can have this fulfilling life. Lucky for me, the education world is transforming in 3 major ways, and I've gotten highly involved with this. The 3 major ways that it's changing is, first, we're taking students out of the classroom and putting them into the world. Traveling. Traveling is so important. When you travel, you challenge your assumptions about yourself and about your beliefs in the world. You broaden your horizons. You look at the world through a whole new set of eyes. You meet people, new cultures, new foods, new music. In my opinion, traveling is the #1 way for continued growth throughout your lifetime, and I highly encourage everyone to make that an investment priority through their whole life. Well, schools are now getting this. Private schools all over the world are now taking a portion of students' tuition and investing that in getting students out of the school and into the world for a week so that they can have that type of experience and then bring the world back into the school. In public schools in America, the Washington, D.C. public school system, the Boston public school system are now using taxpayer dollars to get students out in the world for a week because they realize the value of that. Princeton University and other universities around the country now are paying need blind for students to take a gap year as they're coming into their college. Why? Because they realize that gap year students add so much more to the discussion table. It's literally an investment for Princeton University to be doing this. I'm a proud founding board member of an organization called Thrival World Academies. We're building the largest national network of charter public high schools in America, specifically designed to take low-income students out into the world for an entire year. It's never been done before. And we'll take 50,000 students a year out into the world. That's transformational. It's transformational for those individual kids. It's transformational for education in America as we know it. And that fires me up. That gets me excited. That gets me up in the morning. The second way in which education is changing in the world is we're going from teaching content to teaching skill sets. Gone are the days of studying mathematics and science and history because we need to know things. When I graduated from college in 2001, there was no iPhone. There was no apps. You didn't walk around the world seeing people just doing this. There were hardly even phones where you could read an email on them. There was no Facebook. There was no Twitter. There was no Instagram. There was no Airbnb. There was no Uber. The way people did business around the world was dramatically different. The way people socialized was dramatically different. The way people dated was dramatically different. That's the type of world we're living in. The type of world where learning the skill sets are what take you to the next level. Schools are realizing this. They're now teaching students about communication, collaboration, creativity, character building, because they realize that these are the skill sets that you can carry for decades. The next generation of leaders in our world, across finance, across business, across healthcare, across medicine, they will be people that understand how to look at the world's problems and work at small groups and come up with solutions, and then how to carry those solutions across country borders with different religions and different cultural customs and implement those solutions in different countries. Those will be the type of people that are running our world. The third way in which education is changing in our world is we're going from using technology and looking at it as a distraction to using it as an actual tool. And it's happening in a variety of ways. Technology is very much flowing into education. 2 nights ago, my wife and I video Skyped with our 3 sons back in San Francisco for 1 hour for free. I run an international travel company. We have staff in 15 countries and 25 states around the world. We video conference for free every single day. Some of our staff are in the midst of a professional development period, and they're taking massive online open courses. They're taking MBA-level marketing courses from top universities, typically in education that's $60,000 a year. They're taking it for free, working in small groups, and talking about how to implement these concepts into our company. There's a school in San Francisco, an elementary school, that now videotapes every second of every day in the classroom. And as teachers are working with students, and they're helping facilitate these learning moments, and they realize that there was a missed opportunity, they tap their pocket that has a controller in it. It timestamps the day. And at the end of the day, they get together in peer groups of teachers, and they watch these moments where they know they could have done something a little better. And they talk about that individual student, that individual learning moment, and what they could have done to make it more powerful. It's real-time feedback with peer groups. And this is the direction that we're heading in the world. So if we're going from using technology as a distraction to starting using it as a tool, and we're starting to move from teaching content to teaching skill sets, and we're committed to getting students out of the classroom into the world, I'm confident that the education system's transforming in a way where we will help students identify their passion. We will help students courageously be willing to walk a path with purpose. But my recommendation is don't wait for the institution to do this for you. Do it yourself, and do it now. There was a great actor and author, Michael Landon, who passed away of cancer. And before he died, he said, "Someone should tell us right from the beginning that we're dying. Then we might live life to the limit. Every day, every minute. Do it, I say. Whatever you want to do it now, because there are only so many tomorrows." So I stand up here to ask you and to push you to go out and find your passion. Commit to living a life with purpose, and do it now, because there are only so many tomorrows. Thank you.